Hello, I'm Joey Bekewe. Today on Relationship Explications, I'll be discussing a very sensitive topic, sexual intimacy in marriage. This topic is very sensitive, mostly for us as women. And today we'll be talking about ways that we can go back to those times that we were enjoying sexual intimacy with our partners. So keep watching as we dig deep into how you can get back into your lovely sexual life and building it well. Keep watching.
No matter how the years go by, I keep loving you. And even as the years roll by, baby, I still do.
Hello and welcome back. Well, before I go on to the topic of today, I want to thank you so much for your likes and your comments and your shares. Thank you for helping us spread this value really fast and wide. We appreciate you so much for all your likes, your shares, and your comments on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Thank you very much. So let's go straight into the business of today. Sexual intimacy in marriage. This topic is really sensitive because a lot of people hide under the guise of not enjoying sexual intimacy with their partner and commit sin, which could also be a fact. And most of the time, if you check the history, it didn't start that way. They had an amazing bonding and loving sexual life, and something happened along the line. So we're going to be checking out the 4 things that could cause that in marriage, and I'm going to be sharing from my personal experience being married for 8 years. I actually, yes, at some point there was no sexual life at all, and we deliberately are building it back to what is suitable for us and comfortable for us as a partner, as a couple. So we're going to be talking about that today. Number 1 major issue is quarrels. When you have quarrels in the marriage. So when you first get married, there are a lot of things that happen to couples. Some people actually start the issues actually start coming up during the preparation of the marriage. There is this thing that happened and all that, and there is this hurt, there is this pain, there are many things that they probably didn't finish talking about and all that, and they carry it into the marriage. Well, you can ignore it and you have your first months in the marriage with so much fun and love and care, where you want to have it everywhere. You must be, for those of so those of us who didn't do it before marriage, we kept ourselves, we waited, and we decided that no, we're going to wait, keep ourselves celibate and wait until we get married. And when you get married, you want to explore all the options, you want to do everything. Then after then, quarrels and argument, and you guys just got married. There are many things that cultural differences, home policies and differences, the way he was raised in his home, their policy, their values, they may differ from yours, their lifestyle and the way they do things may differ from yours. So coming together as a couple, those are the things that causes issues, and you need to iron that out. Belief system and all that, a lot of things are forming, and at that point there are quarrels, there are issues, there are emotional disagreements. And when somebody hurts you, at that point is not the best time you really want to be sexually connected with the person, most especially for people who are introverted, who deal with issues internally. They want to go through the motions, they want to really process the whole thing and come out better. But there are some people who are extroverted, who are like water on the back of a duck. They talk about the thing, the way they feel, and they just move on. But there are some other people, words are very serious to them. Like when I go marry myself and my husband, I'm the extroverted type. He is very introverted. Words are very serious to me. For me, words are not so major. Yes, you may say something to me, but I can get over it easily. He wasn't like that. It took us a while. I now understood that, okay, there is how to communicate with this kind of a person. There is how to speak. And we had our differences, our upbringing and all that, and you have that issue. It can make sexual intimacy, it can strain sexual intimacy, it can make it boring, because at that point in time, because of the issues you're having, you don't want to even allow anybody to touch you. That is number 1. Number 2, baby making sex, and this category have 2 parts: pregnancy, and for some people who are actually trying to get pregnant, when a woman is trying to get pregnant and a couple they're trying to get pregnant, at that point in time, sexual intimacy is not the most important thing for them, because this is baby making sex. They really want to make babies at this point in time. And for people who are, my pastor said something one time and it hit me real hard, because as women, we may know how we really want to have the baby, how we really are pushing to get the baby, but hearing from a man's perspective, he changed it for me. He said that as a man, you will not know how much work sex is until you're trying to get your wife pregnant. At that point in time, if she says come, say your heart will skip, because you don't know if she's saying that, oh, I'm ovulating, or, and he really didn't have issues having babies. But you know, as a pastor, he hears a lot of things, and when men come and he counsels them, and I got to hear that. I got to hear this privileged information, because most men don't even talk about what they go through when they are with a woman who is trying to get pregnant, who have not been able to get pregnant. We know the obvious, because society blames the woman. She has not been pregnant, something is wrong with her. Hardly do people talk about the men, except for these days that medicine have come and people are checking for low sperm count and all that. But the pressure, most times, we the women, we carry it, is very personal for us. It's very serious. This is 1 month and I'm seeing my period again and all that. So it's very serious for us. But for men, once I hear that it is a major work for a man when the pressure of getting your wife pregnant sets in. And that alone kills sexual intimacy. At that point in time, you're not talking about kissing, touching, caressing, and all the things that you want to do. No, it is just straight to the point. Do it like this. Let's stay like this. So there is this consciousness of, oh, it is onto a predetermined goal. This sex is supposed to produce a result. So at that point in time, that pressure alone kills sexual intimacy, kills the fun in it. It drags down everything. That is number 2. Number 3, environmental consciousness. Well, okay, for pregnancy, for me, let me talk about number 2 again, going back to number 2, because I said it's pregnancy and for those who are seeking. For pregnancy, personally, there's some people, but for me, if I'm pregnant, it's really the last thing on my mind, really. But there are some people, they said that is when, so people body type differ. So for during pregnancy, and my husband was really conscious, you know, it's not the best time that they always want to disturb you. You are going through a lot already, carrying a baby. So that's not when they want to always bother you for sex. So at that point in time, it really comes down. It's not the way it used to be. There are other things that you do to satisfy yourself than really going into major sexual intimacy play and all that foreplay. So you do other things rather than really having sex the way you would have wanted to, because at this point a baby is inside of you and you don't want to cause problems for yourself and the baby. So that's another strength. So it's for number 2 is pregnancy, and for those who are seeking to get pregnant. At that point in time, sexual intimacy is really strained. Then number 3, environmental consciousness stage. This is really for those who have babies, who have children. At this point in time, maybe as a young mom, you just gave birth, and okay, now you have your baby and you want to start going back into sexual activities. At this point in time, you're always conscious, because sometimes you just feel like, okay, that's the point where you just want to get it over with, because you want to go and take care of the baby, you want to go and do something. At that point in time, you just feel like, okay, let me just, let's just get it over with. Let's just do fast. Let's just get out of here. It is really not the major thing on your mind, because all the things are there. You're conscious about the baby, you're going to work tomorrow morning. There are many things. You came back really tired. So doing this right now is not the thing for you. You're really not in that mood. You're not even concerned about it. Your mind is not there. Psychologically, you're not ready for it. So because of that, you lose interest in really enjoying sexual intimacy. But at this stage, this is the stage that is very crucial. If you don't watch it at this point, you fall into a stage that has a very thin line of causing really major issues in your marriage. And that is the number 4 stage, indifference. This is the major that kills relationship. When you get indifferent about it, And for us women, we feel like the man should always still chase, and doesn't really come out or look so good when you go and be asking your husband for sex all the time. We always are the ones that are chased after, so we always want to be chased after. But when the man comes back tired, he's not interested, and you're looking at him, you want it, but you don't go and ask him, and you let that day slide. Another day it happens like that, you let that day slide. Then the day you don't want it, he wants it, and you're just like, okay, let him just do and get it over with. And sometimes he wants it, you will not, because of the fact that you wanted it, you couldn't go and meet him, and you felt he wasn't sensitive enough to observe or know that you wanted it. Meanwhile, you didn't even mention it, but you're judging him for it. This is women for you. You're judging him for it. At the end of the day, you decide to say, please, I'm very tired, I'm not in the mood. And he wanted it. He came to you, and you're not interested because you're paying him back for not being sensitive all the while. All these are the things that break down sexual intimacy in marriage. And before you know, somebody is cheating. Because there is this, see, let me tell you, there are many things that you can let the devil step into your marriage. Just very little things. Okay, like I said before, as a lady, if you want it, he's your husband. You can talk about it. There is nothing wrong with it. Even though you don't talk about it, you can go and play around him, and he will understand what you are saying. There are sometimes he may not be really in the mood. Understand. That is why it's marriage. Understand. Because if you get into the stage of indifference about, well, if he comes, fine. If he doesn't come, okay. Then he is also looking at you like, you're not even making any effort. And another thing too, the way you even go to bed as a woman is very vital. I was teaching a set of young people that I lead. I was teaching them about how a queen goes to bed. And it's not because of sex. Whatever you do as a queen will always attract your king. But you don't do it because of him. You do it because you recognize who you are as a woman first, as a queen. So there is how a queen dresses to bed to meet her husband, to meet her spouse. So it is very important how you carry yourself, how you prepare yourself. Men are natural chasers. Women, let's talk about this. There was something that somebody said, and it was very, it was really eye-opening. It was a guy we were discussing, a married man, and he said something. He said that if I tell you what I like as a woman, it will look like you are doing it for me. But if you find out what I like as a woman, it will draw me more to you than if I was the one that told you, and it will come out as if you're doing it for me. And why he said that was, as a man, there are things that women wear to bed. For me, as a young girl, I really didn't bother about lingerie. But once I got married, and it was even of recent, about 2 years ago, I really knew, because myself and my husband, we had one very interesting experience. And he told me that the way you come to bed, it's very important. And I really didn't know. I thought I was going to bed very well. You know, when you wear a short knicker and you wear a singlet and you go to bed, you know, you think that you're looking, he's not interested as far as it's concerned. You are caging yourself. You're wearing knicker to come to bed. What kind of war do you want him to fight? So it was really an eye-opening for me. I didn't know. I really didn't know. I thought I was dressing beautifully well for my husband. So the most important thing is to find out what works. And yes, this part works for all men. Dressing like a queen to bed to meet your king. Deliberately wearing lingeries, wearing 90s. I don't even think pajamas should be used in the bed when your husband is around, except he's not around. You can wear those trousers and shirt pajamas. But there is the easy wear that you can wear with your husband on the bed. Just a nightgown, a fine nightgown that is very easy and accessible for you to enjoy sexual intimacy. Yes, I said it because this topic is very, very sensitive for me. But I had to say it because I had an experience. A lady came to meet me and was talking about how it feels like they don't have that anymore in their relationship. And I thought I started sharing my experience with her. There was a time in my marriage, we had issues to the point my husband became very uninterested in touching me. You know, the problems in the marriage, the issues in the marriage can be so much that a man can lose interest and a woman can lose interest too. And before you know, you have gone your separate ways. But the truth is, you should tell yourself this thing is for life, it's a long journey. You're going to be having this with this person forever. So it's supposed to be something you are deliberate about and building deliberately. For me and my husband right now, we are very conscious about it. We're very deliberate about it. Sometimes I don't have to say the words. I will position myself in a way that he will understand what I'm saying. Or I will touch him and go close to him and hold him in a way he will understand what I'm saying. But it didn't start like that initially. We had the issues and we sat down and talked about it. And the major thing I always say is here, communication is key. You should be able to sit down and talk about it and say, honey, I am not sexually satisfied in this marriage. I am not. And as a woman, don't feel shy. You have but one life to live. Don't feel shy. You have that marriage to work hard at. Go and say to your husband, honey, I'm not sexually satisfied. And so that you will hear his perspective. Maybe you as well are not acting like the lady he got married to. You're not acting like that young girl who was always at him, who just because you now have babies or you're doing business and you're very busy to even remember that you're supposed to build a sexual life. I didn't know that I was part of the problems in my sexual relationship with my husband until we talked about it. And it shared a lot of insightful things to me. I was surprised. I didn't know. But I was able to talk about it. And he also was open enough to talk about it. So talk about it and ensure you get past these phases. Stop the quarrel. And when you're going through baby making sex, understand that that is the stage. It is the stage. You can get past it. But if you're not careful, when you get to environmental consciousness stage, where you're looking around, being careful of what the babies are doing and all that, and you don't want anybody to know, before you know it, you get into a stage of indifference. And that is the worst part in your sexual intimacy with your spouse. I hope that these have been able to help you to be able to build a more deliberate bonding in sexual relationship with your spouse. Thank you so much for watching.
The only one who holds the keys to my heart, and which way he wants me to, I'll go without a fight. I might as well be a fool for you, 'cause ain't no stop to loving you.